All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to episode 83 of the On Air Advocate. Where at the On Air Advocate, we look to provide education, support, and empowerment for all of those with different abilities, mental and medical illnesses, and their caregivers. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Tammy Flynn, and I am the host and producer of the On Air Advocate. And I am super excited that you are here this morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. if you're Central Standard Time. Tuning in with us this AM. If not, and you're catching it on the replay, thank you very much for doing that as well. Now, as always, we pick a focus week over here at the On Air Advocate, and actually this isn't even just a week, this is a whole focus series on cerebral palsy awareness. And so I am super excited because today we are not only in our series of just our regular interviews, but today is... What is it?
The awareness.
Right. It is World Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day. And so I'm super excited to be joined here this morning by Eboni P Jones. She is a mother. She is a wife. She is an author. She is a motivational speaker. And I am so happy that I have found her, and she is going to share her amazing inspirational story with us here this morning on the On Air Advocate. So welcome, Eboni.
Hi, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So, I was reading on your website and me and you talking just about your journey. You have like a whole fam. You got like the whole crowd. They can all come on in this morning. Good morning, everybody. Your story really began when you were about 2 years of age. But as we discussed, those were experiences that your mother obviously had because you can't, remember exactly at that point. Can you take us through that beginning time how your mother found out that you were diagnosed and where that journey began?
Yes. Well, like you said, when I was diagnosed at the age of 2. And how my mom found out about it was I was talking, having full conversations, but I wasn't hitting the milestones of crawling or walking. So that issued some concern for her. So once she saw that, then she started taking steps to get me evaluated to see what was going on.
Okay. And right when they evaluated you, did they know right away, or is there some type of preliminary testing that they do to find out?
No, they didn't know right away. I had to go through some testing because like the muscle stiffness and things like that, they were trying to figure out where that, came from. And then by me being premature, they thought it was just from the prematurity.
And where do you know how many weeks you were born at?
I was born 3 months early.
You were born 3 months early. And now, would you say statistically that CP is more prevalent in those that are premature? Do you know from statistics looking?
I would say yes and no, because some people that are born premature do have CP, but it also depends on the oxygen level.
Okay.
That you receive going through the birth canal, because cerebral palsy is cerebral, so it starts, from the brain and goes down. And when we received how I got diagnosed, it was because the side of my brain that tells your legs and things what to do, that side of my brain did not receive all of the oxygen that it was supposed to receive during the birth time. So that's created.
Okay, yeah, because for some that don't know, CP is a neurological condition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so you were born 3 months early. Your mom found out, so she took you in for some preliminary testing, found out that you had CP. What was her next action steps? Has she ever shared that with you?
My mom, she went to work right away. Like, I was my mom's first child. She has 4. I'm the oldest of 4. There's 3 boys.
Oh my God.
She had me when she was 20.
Okay.
And she didn't know much about cerebral palsy. She looked in books in the library, and she educated herself. And she found out things that I had to do as far as doctors and operations, and she went to work.
Okay, just went to work on learning how to advocate, learning more about the neurological condition and how she could be the best advocate for you as you got older.
Yeah.
And now you were sharing with me that, your issue really resides with having more of a physical disability, correct?
Yes, mine is more physical. It does affect the lower part of my body, just my legs, and sometimes my hands get tight as well from the CP. So sometimes I have to do this, like do occupational therapy to myself. But yes, I'm very blessed that it only affects the lower part of my legs.
Okay. And when did you really recognize that you had a physical disability?
I would say I recognized it once I started school, because everybody around me was like running and jumping and stuff, and I'm like, I can't do those things. So
Okay.
I'm slightly different. I
Mhm.
can't do all of what they're doing. So there's a difference here. So that's when I really started to recognize, because at home, my mom never treated me like anything was wrong. So I didn't see cerebral palsy, and then when I went to school and things like that, I'm like, okay, I'm just a little bit different.
Right. And now, did you ever come home after school started, when you were younger, asking your mom more questions? Did you find yourself, once you recognized it, or the kids were so accepting that it just kind of flowed, like you didn't need to do that?
The kids were very accepting. It was me with the issue. It was me with the issue. I had to get comfortable within me. Like, I was involved in everything, but I just wasn't comfortable in me.
Right. So
Yeah.
you hadn't yet embraced, your different ability that you had been blessed with. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And so that goes through grade school. You said grade school is pretty much that way. And then getting into high school. Did anything transition when you got into the high school years? Or was it even more that friends were loving and caring? And
Yeah, high school was awesome. Like, I had awesome experiences through high school. I did go through being talked about, blah, 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 that type of stuff. But it didn't have nothing to do with my cerebral palsy. It was just a high school thing.
right. Okay.
But I was very active in high school. I was on pom-poms. I was on forensics. I was in Special Olympics from elementary all the way to high school. I was very active. Like, high school was great. It was just me each year getting different, comfortable in the things that I wanted to experience, and me being able to step outside of fear and experience things.
Right. And so you're through high school, you're doing all the normal high school things, only kind of stuff is just normal high school stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start to embrace you?
That's a funny question. Honestly, after I had my son.
Okay.
Because it was no longer about me.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted him to see that just because I was different
Mm-hmm.
didn't mean that I couldn't do everything that every other mom does. I just have to do it a little differently. So having him gave me a different push.
A different perspective.
Different perspective and push in life. My husband, awesome. But when you have a child, it's a different type of push that you go through.
Right. Now, if you take me back before that, because, I think that your situation is unique in the sense that a lot of people that have different abilities or physical impairments sometimes think that taking that next step into motherhood might not be a possibility for them. I mean, and I even know with just like chronic medical conditions, sometimes the risks and whatnot that you're taking, people long for that for their whole life and then are not able You know what I'm saying? Either not able because of fear to move forward or because of something medically. So can you take me back to that point when you decided that at some point you wanted to become a mom? Were you challenged, you know, before you got married and all of that with those thoughts?
Okay. First, I didn't, to be honest, I never wanted to have kids. Like,
Oh, okay.
like
You were like, I don't want to have kids.
I never wanted to have kids. But God saw otherwise. When I was 21, before I met my husband, I did get pregnant. And the doctor told me that I wasn't going to be able to carry the child. So they basically told me I had to have an abortion because if I carried the child, that me and the child would die. So I went through an abortion, and my mom was there with me. So that was hard for the both of us, and it took me a long time to get over that. And when I got with my husband Bernard, and we decided that we wanted to have children, and I wasn't getting pregnant, we made a doctor's appointment, and that was the first question the doctor asked me, like, have you had an abortion? So it was like I had to release something that I was holding on to.
Right. Now, when those doctors, though, now that you're older and your perspective on life has kind of opened up, changed, you've embraced you, were those doctors wrong in the sense, was there anything that was inhibiting you different at that time from birthing a child than right now?
No, absolutely
Okay.
not. My muscles were the same. Everything was the same. I think it was honestly lack of education and not having the patience. And then by me being young and not really knowing and already going by what the doctors have told my mom, even though I already defeated the odds prior, this was a different type of situation and it was more fearful for me.
Right. So you went with their lead. And I mean, I can see that at that age, not knowing. And so as you and your husband decided that you were going to start a family, what other precautions or things did you do moving forward, you know, with the doctor to make sure that everything was safe, or if there was anything else that you could do to secure the safest birth possible?
Just went to my regular checkups and things like that. Asked the basic questions, made sure that my blood pressure and everything was right. My my husband got a wheelchair. For like he was already prepared. Okay, he got a wheelchair and everything, and I was not. No offense to any of my CP warriors that are in wheelchairs, but listen, I'm not a fan of a wheelchair. Like, once I got out, I did not want to go back. So, but I know I needed that as a safety precaution just in case if anything happened. So, the doctor's appointments were basically regular, like just making sure I did what I was supposed to do. It was, they did keep an eye on me just in case. They didn't think I was going to carry him full time. They were watching for that and everything like that. But
and what is do you know the statistical rates? Like if you yourself have CP, if you have another child, you know, if I'm sorry, I should back that up. If you are going to have a baby, is there odds on that? Is there statistics on that?
No, because everybody's body type is different.
Okay.
I've met women through Facebook, through the Cerebral Palsy Mom Facebook group that have cerebral palsy and they have multiple children.
Oh,
so,
okay.
So it's all about the person's body and what they're able to do, because every case of CP is different.
Right.
So it depends on what the person's body is able to hold and what they're able to do. And I feel like the world puts limitations on cerebral palsy because all they see is the cerebral palsy, but they don't see all of the other things. Like, so, you know,
all of the other abilities that are there. all
Yes,
the
ma'am.
other abilities.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
for yourself, after having your son, aside from you coming into your new, embracing you, being you, all of that, did you experience any issues, like any contractures or anything like that with your muscles? So did you need any type of occupational therapy or physical therapy afterwards to restore anything, or not really?
No, I just needed prayer. I just needed prayer. No, I was in pain from the C-section, but I really don't like taking medicine either. So I wasn't taking the pain medicine a lot. Like I was pushing myself, like to be able to get back and do what I had to do. So I did have, because I walk with a quad cane, but I did have a walker. The hospital gave me a walker to bring home to use.
Okay.
To be able to like push on it instead of leaning on my cane. But no, I didn't have to. Everything it was just slow motion. Like, and I had to use a shower chair and everything, like when getting myself back to bathing myself and things like that. Everything was slow motion.
Okay, so it's just a little bit slower of a recovery process
Yep.
from that. Okay,
Yep.
so now you have your son, and
Mhm.
now what happens? Like did you have like wake up one day, or was it while you were pregnant? Did you start where you really started to reflect, do a lot of like self-reflection?
And when he started like crawling and walking and stuff, like I got scared.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, oh my God, he's crawling, he's walking. What was gonna happen when he started running? How am I gonna be able to catch him? Like all of these things were going through my mind. And honestly, I was fearful for him to start walking and running because I'm like, if something happens to him, I'm not going to be able to run and catch him. Or when he cries, I'm not going to be able to run and go pick him up. But I figured that out because when he was little, I had a bassinet with wheels. So I would push it because I'm very muscular up top. So me lifting things is not an issue. It's just me making sure that I have the balance. So I would take the bassinet, push the bassinet in his room, pick him up, put him in the bassinet, and then push him to where push him throughout the house. So I made adaptations because that was my biggest fear, not being able to get to him when he needed me. So I had to figure out a way to adapt to it.
And with that being said, is that at the same point that you started all of this journaling and whatnot to kind of tell your story?
Yes, because a lot of people had questions like, how am I going to be able to do this when my husband goes back to work? Because I was a stay-at-home mom. We had already discussed that I wasn't going to go back to work, that I was going to stay home with Calvin until he was school age, so that he can, I can be home with him. And me journaling and everything, it allowed me to release and answer everybody's questions on my accord for my healing.
Right.
And then eventually, I was like, people need to hear this. And I presented it to my bishop, and he was like, we need to turn this into a book. And there you have it.
And so did all of those pieces of the puzzle fall together at the same time? The book, the website, you starting some speaking things, or can you give me a little calendar of events as to how that all kind of played itself out?
It was spread apart very differently. The book came first, the website came later, and the speaking stuff just started happening because I started becoming more vocal. Like at first it was just about the book, but then I was like, this is bigger than the book. Like I'm a voice. People need to hear the voice of cerebral palsy. Like cerebral palsy is just not a wheelchair. It's just not a walker. It's just not being nonverbal. There's so many different types, and we're all intelligent and smart and beautiful and handsome and doing awesome things. So I was like, I have to do this. I have to do something to be a voice for our community. And then I was in a fashion show, The Family of Fashion, with Avid Boutique, that boutique that I work at. And I walked in their fashion show. And then after doing that, I was like, I want us to have one. So then I got with Abby Boutique, Tiffany and Unique, and I talked to them, and they helped me put together the first annual My Disability Is fashion show, and I did that last year, and it was amazing, like to see all the different ability people, and the models range from 3 years old to 50 years old.
Nice.
And then, but I had a YouTube channel and things before that, but like after that, that gave me a bigger push to be like, keep going.
Right.
Keep
to empower others. Now, what about this support group that you've kind of started? So where did that come from? When did that start?
Eboni P Ministries Incorporated. I just started it actually. Like I said, I've always written, I've always encouraged, and it started with me sharing my quotes that you see me post. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I want to put together events. I want to put together events that empower disabled and not disabled, which started with the My Disability Is. And now it's like, what else can I do? It's like, I'm just ready to just go and just kick down these doors and show people that cerebral palsy stops nothing. It only stops what we allow it. So I just started it as an empowerment, as an inclusion empowerment, like no separation. We're all one body.
Right. Now, are you in the works of working on the next fashion show?
Yes. I'm so excited. It is going to be myself, of course, at the boutique, and now it's going to be with Fashion No Boundaries with Octavia Page. So I'm very excited about that. God is doing awesome things, putting people together. So yes, that is definitely in the works. Very excited for that to come.
And that is going to take place next year, right?
Yes.
And is that here in Milwaukee or is that in Chicago?
It's going to be in Milwaukee. She's coming here.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm so excited. That is going to be fabulous.
Yes, I'm so excited. I can't wait.
I know. I am so excited to hear that. Now, your book is titled, hold on, it's 8:00 in the morning. Why don't you just take it away? Because 8 in the morning.
What's Cerebral Palsy to a Queen?
There you go. Thank you very much. I needed that this morning. Can you tell me where that title came from and what are all the contents? Like, where does that book start with the journey? Does that start at the age of 2 when you were little, or?
It starts from birth to where I am now.
Okay.
And the title of the book, I cannot take credit for this title. I give all credit to Unique Edwards because we were trying to figure out, with me being in the fashion show, like different hashtags to use and different things for me to do with promoting, with me coming on social media. And she was like, what's Cerebral Palsy to a Queen? Because she asked me, what did I want them to say about me when I walked out? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, that I don't let my cerebral palsy stop nothing. I don't know, I guess. And she was like, what's Cerebral Palsy to a Queen? And there you have it. And now that's me.
It is, and I love your logo. If you guys haven't seen it in the video we put up, we'll drop it below later, but it has a girl in a wheelchair with a crown on. I just love it. I love it. Yes. It is awesome. Now, one last thing that I wanted to kind of go over with you in wrapping up is that today we are celebrating World Cerebral Palsy Day. So go green. And if you all saw, I found another green sweater. Is that fashionable? Got some holes in it.
It's cute.
I got it from my girlfriend Maria. I got to give her a shout out. She got it from Boutique for me. So I said I was going to try. That's for Paula too. She challenged me last night to find another green item, and so I did.
And it's not hot.
It's not hot, no, because if you watched on Thursday night, I could have probably passed out from being so warm in my turtleneck, heavy sweater. So can you break down for us, if somebody wants to get involved, if somebody wants to help build awareness, if somebody wants to do something today, maybe, or they want to do something for, going on preceding years, what are the different ways they could get involved?
Well, today is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day, so you can definitely wear your green. My shirt says "Slaying Cerebral Palsy," and it has Eboni P on the back. You could definitely wear your green. Just try to get more involved. Talk to someone that you see instead of staring. Say hi. Connect with United Cerebral Palsy. Just connect. Be willing to be out there. Be willing to touch. March is Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, so y'all got all the way to March
to go get some green stuff.
To collect y'all green and get things happening and planning events. And I say a way to get involved is just do it. Create something to make it happen, because sometimes there's not a lot of places for us to go, Right. Or it only happens during school. Like, what happens when you age out of school? Like, we still want to get together. We still want to do things. So sometimes it takes a person just getting out there doing it. And I'm going to make that happen. We're going to make it happen.
Yes.
So just do it. Just be willing to do it. Be a part. Research. Ask questions. Learn about it. Don't judge it. Learn about it. And then get to know somebody with it, and then you'll have a different perspective.
Right, because knowledge is power, and the more that we can kind of give people knowledge, it kind of stamps out all of those misconceptions of what people honestly, what they think. And, I didn't know until I started this series, aside from the fact that there are 17 million people worldwide that have this, that this is the #1 physical disability condition in the world. Like, I had that has no funding, like no government funding to find research to make change, which I thought was shocking to me.
That's why United Cerebral Palsy is so important.
And they do. So United Cerebral Palsy does the largest amount of fundraising for research and whatnot for this.
Yep.
Yeah. This year of 2018 has been a great year of reflection for me. I'm going to make a list at the end of this year of like the top 10 most ridiculous things. Like, how can we have something as the largest neurological physical disability in the world, and we don't have any funding to find answers, for it across the board? I don't know. I thought that was shocking.
Yeah.
I don't know. But you are here, Eboni, to create change.
Yes. Yeah, I'm on a mission. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. So we're gonna drop the links below if we can do that for your book. Now, do you sell those shirts on your website?
Somebody just made these for me today. And for the people because I'm doing a giveaway today.
Oh, nice.
I'm so excited. I'm doing a giveaway today for United Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day, and I was gonna reveal these shirts on Instagram Live, but then you asked me to be on your show. So the winner will get one of these shirts. They will get my book bundle. They will also get a gift coupon from Abby Boutique and from Lori Sweet Shop. So these shirts are not available on my website yet, but since you asked, Tammy, I'm gonna make it happen.
Right, because then between you and Talia, like, will it be able to get shirts for March? Right? Nobody's got any excuse.
I need to order like 3 or 4 shirts. I was supposed to message her yesterday, but I forgot. But I'm gonna do that.
But then there will be that. So we're going to drop the links for all that below. How can somebody get involved with registering to win the bundle? Do they need to share a post on Cerebral Palsy today, or
post up on Facebook? But I'm just going to drop the rules really quickly. If you're following me on IG, find your favorite picture of me. Yeah, I know that's conceited, but I'm just saying. Yeah. Find your favorite picture of me. Tell me what your favorite YouTube video is of me that you have watched so far. If you have cerebral palsy and you're entering it, hashtag I bleed the green. Shout out to Dominique for that. If you do not have cerebral palsy and you love someone or supporting cerebral palsy, just drop the green heart. Tell me what is something that you have learned about cerebral palsy since following me, and why do you follow me? That's it.
You said that's it. So can you drop that?
If you don't got Instagram, you can do it on Facebook too.
Okay, so can you drop that below this live? Can you drop all those things in the comments below this live?
Yep, but you got to 8 o'clock to answer, because at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, Central Standard Time.
So you got time.
Okay, so you got time. You got like 12 hours to get that done and get on there. And so we're going to drop the link for your website. When you get the shirts, you can always drop that link below as well for your book. And then we are also going to put a post up with the Facebook and the link to Fashion with No Boundaries, right?
Yes.
Because that will be the fashion show taking place next year here.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Now, any last words, anything you want to leave us with today?
Just keep being unapologetically y'all, my CP warriors. Don't let nobody put you in the corner. Don't let nobody tell you what you can't do. You are your own advocate. You have a voice. Speak up, speak out, and do it loudly, however you have to do it. Just keep pushing, keep taking everything step by step. It's okay if you got to do things a little differently. It's okay if it takes you a little longer. But just keep being you, keep shining through. Just keep being who y'all are.
Amen to that. Embrace you, be you, and let the world don't listen to the noise. Right. So on that note, I hope everybody has a fabulous World CP Day. Make sure that if you are not sporting green, okay, now people say they don't got green. I found green the last 3 days. I didn't think I had green in my closet. So I'm sure somebody's got some kind of Irish or, if you're in Wisconsin, you got a Green Bay Packer jersey. I'm sure of it in your closet. I know it's not the exact same green, but you can still put it on. And as we talked about yesterday, there's Christmas lights and green light bulbs already at all the stores. You can go get yourself a green bulb, because we want to see some places being lit up green, just like they do for lots of other organizations and, building awareness. So on that note, everybody have a fabulous day. Eboni, I feel blessed and honored that you were able to join me this morning.
Yeah. Thank
you so much. And we will see you guys all next week. We got a lot coming up. So stay tuned.
Bye.
Bye-bye.